Hut, der hat 3 Ecken. 3 Ecken hat mein Hut. Und hat er nicht 3 Ecken, dann ist es nicht mein Hut.
The strange, the bizarre, the unexpected. These are the kinds of subjects a man named Robert L. Ripley challenged us to
believe it or not.
Believe it or not.
Believe it or not, you.
Wally, believe it or not.
Believe it or not.
Believe it!
You're a loony.
Contrary to popular belief, the fur of polar bears is actually transparent and appears white because it reflects light. Underneath their fur, they have black skin to help absorb and retain heat in their cold Arctic habitats. Believe it or not. Baby flamingos are born gray, not pink. Believe it or not. A woodpecker's tongue actually wraps all the way around its brain, protecting it from damage when it's hammering into a tree. Believe it or not. A shrimp's heart is located in its head. Believe it or not. Elephants suck on their trunks for comfort. Believe it or not. Wombat poop is cube-shaped. Believe it or not. A flock of flamingos is called, wait for it, a flamboyance. Fancy. Believe it or not. Forget bald eagles. The turkey was once almost named the national bird. Believe it or not. A group of owls is called a parliament. Believe it or not. There are 32 muscles in a cat's ear. Believe it or not. Montana has 3 times as many cows as it does people. Believe it or not. 90% of the world's population lives above the equator. Believe it or not. Finland has more saunas than cars. Believe it or not. Mary, of Mary Had a Little Lamb fame, was a real person, and the song is based on a true story. Believe it or not. You can't lick your elbow. Believe it or not. Strawberries are not berries, but bananas actually are. Believe it or not. A flock of ravens is called a conspiracy. Dark stuff. Believe it or not. Turns out a dog's paw is just as unique as a human's. Good news for dog detectives. Believe it or not. A camel can drink up to 40 gallons of water in one go. That's seriously impressive. Believe it or not. It's estimated that the typical pencil has enough graphite to draw a line 35 miles long, or 20 times the length of the Golden Gate Bridge. Believe it or not. New York's Central Park is bigger than Monaco. That's right, one park is bigger than an entire country. Believe it or not. Here's a little funny and creepy fact. Not only are groups of crows called murderers, but the birds actually hold funerals for their dead. Spooky. Believe it or not. Elmer Fudd's original name was Egghead. Believe it or not. The longest noodle ever made is more than 10,000 feet long. That's almost 2 miles. Wonder how long it would take us to slurp that. Believe it or not. A flock of peacocks is called a party. Party hard, peacocks. Believe it or not. Did you know there's a 50,000 word novel without using the letter E? Gatsby is a lipogram, or a novel written without using a letter or letters. In the case of Gatsby, written by Ernest Vincent Wright in 1939, that letter is E. Believe it or not. No number before 1,000 contains the letter A, but there are plenty of E, I, O, U's, and Y's. Believe it or not. Bees can fly higher than 29,525 feet above sea level, according to National Geographic. That's higher than Mount Everest, the tallest mountain in the world. Believe it or not. Did you know that the world's longest pizza is a mile long? At 1.15 miles exactly, this whopping pizza was made in, you guessed it, Italy. But how? By the sweat of 250 chefs and about 4,409 pounds of flour. Believe it or not. The oldest domestic cat on record lived for 38 years. She was Cream Puff of Austin, Texas. Believe it or not. And now for the funnies. Our people are positioned on every street corner, Commander. Shall we commence with our plan to gradually eliminate these creatures? Couples retreat. We all know that wonderful feeling of sticking your head out a car window. Today's question is, how can you give your partner that kind of wind-up-your-nose bliss? Fart in their face? This was a mistake. Buckingham Palace, 11:30 a.m., and the tourists gather to watch the changing of the guard. Okay, boys, that'll be enough. We don't allow any gunplay in this town. Fish thrill rides. Ironically, he's been falling asleep in front of the TV a lot more since his favorite networks went woke. We need you to settle an argument for us. Which is more adorable, a cat on a Roomba or a dog on a skateboard? Don't you roll your eyes at me, young man. Under the couch. I always find the best toys here. Special chef's surprise. What's so surprising about a bologna sandwich? Wait until you get your bill. I like how you take initiative to find paperwork to sit on. You're a real go-sitter, Johnson. Thank you, sir. Saloon scenes on other planets. What are you looking at? New safety regulations roil the unicorn industry. On his day off, the Grim Reaper loved making parking meters expire. Click, 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 click. Through the hoop, Bob! Through the hoop! Pest control. I'm afraid your termites have a list of demands. About your symptoms, I have a theory. In his later years, Superman found work as a security officer at O'Hare International Airport. Turn around. Okay, you're good to go. A nice tattoo of a spider on your stomach. If Spirit owned the space shuttle. I'm sorry, but your bag exceeds the weight limit. Also, I see you're holding your helmet. You're only allowed one carry-on. Oh, and would you like to purchase oxygen? Bud's Erasure Shop. Just heft that baby in your arms a little. I guarantee you, whenever they draw in ink or pencil, that sucker will wipe out any characters that come around. I hate these bridal showers. the not fun whatsoever house. Ard dogs. The Bribe of Frankenstein. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Day old, day old, day old bread, and we wanna go home. I'm experiencing a partial eclipse of the stage. Custer's first stand. Is that enough? They're gonna be walking up any second. I really have to go. Oh, come on. Everything on the internet is true. Abraham Lincoln, 1862. Mona Lisa and Leonardo da Vinci, Florence, 1504. Photographer, Keith Richards. And that concludes another Opa's Corner.
Mein Hut, der hat 3 Ecken. 3 Ecken hat mein Hut. Und hat nicht 3 Ecken, dann ist es nicht mein Hut.
Opa's Corner is now available on my own YouTube channel. Like, share, and subscribe.